y'all, welcome to Criminally Creative, a channel about my various creative endeavors. Today is Sunday, April 21st, 2024, and this is episode 59. I'm Susan. You can find me on Ravelry as Legal Eagle and on Instagram as Criminally Creative Podcast. If you are new here, I appreciate you checking me out. If you're returning, I appreciate you coming back. It has been about 3 weeks since my last video, so I have a decent amount to show you. And today, the 21st, is actually 6 years since I started this channel. A few of you have been around since the beginning. When I started 6 years ago, I was doing, primarily was knitting and spinning. And so that's what this channel was largely about. If you've been around recently, you know that I have gone much deeper into the cross-stitch rabbit hole again. So while I am still knitting and have a little bit of knitting content most weeks or most shows, these days this is mostly a floss tube and mostly about cross stitch. But I don't separate my videos out for crafts. I just do everything all in one video. Sometimes I remember to do timestamps so you can jump around, but I usually only do that if there's like a large segment of knitting or something other than cross stitch. For the most part, usually I don't have so much knitting to show that it's not, that it takes up a lot of time. So anyway, if you have been here all 6 years, I really appreciate it. If not, and this is your first time or your fifth time or whatever, I appreciate you watching anytime that you do. So I will get on to the crafting content. Well, actually, before I do that, let's do hearsay, which is basically just kind of a quick update on what's going on in my life. Not a whole lot personally since I last talked to you. I did spend one night with my parents. I had to be in my hometown for a work event, so I went up the day before and spent the night with them and had dinner with them and just hung out for a while. So they're only about an hour and a half away, so I see them semi-regularly, but you know, life gets busy, and even though they're not that far away, it's sometimes hard to find time to get together. So that was a good visit. And that's really about it as far as what I've done the last few weeks, except for earlier this weekend. I drove down Thursday night to the Myrtle Beach area because Barefoot Needle Arts, which is a store in Surfside Beach, South Carolina, which is the Myrtle Beach area, did an event for 24 hours of cross stitch this weekend. And so they had stitching Friday from 10 to 10 and then yesterday from 10 to 3. So I went down and stayed a couple nights. Got to hang out with my friend Peggy, hung out at the store with, I think there were a couple people that were coming and going, but I would say 15 to 20 people total showed up over the 2 days. I didn't actually count, but I had a great time just, you know, hanging out, stitching, laughing, eating junk food. There were a couple of other FlossTubers there. Kylie from So What Stitcher, Lori from Mischievous Stitches, and Kira, who I'd met before and didn't realize how to floss tube because apparently she hasn't done a video in like 3 years, but said this weekend that she's going to try to do more. And her FlossTube channel is the Sea Dragon's Lair. Sorry, I had to look that up. I subscribed to her last night so that if she does do a new video, but I haven't had a chance to go back and watch any of her older ones yet. So I think that's all the FlossTubers that otherwise that were there. If I missed somebody, I apologize. My friend Julia was there, who you've heard me talk about with the 7 on the 8th for Julia that I was doing last year. Met some other, saw some other people that I had met before at retreats and things. Anyway, it was a good group. We just hung out and stitched and, you know, carried on, shopped, which you'll see in Stashing for Retirement. But Lori and Kylie both did short little videos yesterday while they were at the store that talked a little bit more about some of the things that their group got up to, because they kind of traveled together and stayed together. So they had some kind of planned things going on that were fun. So, oh, I do want to mention Kylie had, and I'll show you this, I'll show you this now. I was going to say I'll show you in Stashing for Retirement, but I'll show you now. While I'm thinking about it, because I'm liable to forget. Kylie had picked up, and I think she maybe does this regularly, I'm not sure. She had picked up a bunch of, you know, like inexpensive jewelry and pieces and bits and bobs to make needle minders with, and I think Amy and Memory donated the magnets, and so we were able to make some needle minders. And of course I saw a dragonfly one and had to do that, and we just glued the magnets on the back with the E6000, and so you have the one magnet you glue on and the second magnet to do it. And then later I was looking, and she had a little bracelet that was all these little feet. And so, of course, now Barefoot Needle Arts, this is kind of a barefoot foot is their symbol, but I'm going to take a little dab of black paint and make that a Tar Heel. So I turned that one into one too. I, interestingly, don't tend to really use needle minders much on my stitching because I tend to work on bigger projects, and I always have those magnets to hold my extra fabric, and I end up using those as needle minders. But that doesn't mean I don't have a gazillion. I mean, you can see that back there is covered in needle minders. I have them on this little cart behind me all over the place. They're just cute. Sometimes I stick them on there to look cute, and sometimes I have a smaller project that I don't have those bigger magnets on, and I do use them. But, you know, it's a collecting thing. So, anyway, that is it for 24 hours cross stitch at Barefoot. The only other thing going on in my life is that session is getting ready to start on Wednesday. For those of you who may be new, I work for the North Carolina General Assembly, and we are going to start what we call the short session on Wednesday. So my work hours will probably get a little bit more chaotic, a little bit more busy, a little less stitching time probably, but we'll see. Hopefully they will be in and out in a couple of months. I'd love for them to be done by the end of June. I'm not holding my breath. So we'll see. So I'm still planning to try to keep to about it every 2 to 3 week schedule, or at least like a middle of the month, end of the month, beginning of the month thing. But you know, we'll just see how it goes and how the work schedule goes. If I disappear for 4 or 5 weeks, that's probably why. But so that's it for hearsay. Verdicts. I have no verdicts this show, and I realized that this is the first video that I have done since I think December of 2022 that I have not had something to show you that was finished. But so I hate to have broken that streak. And if I had knitted a little bit more, I might have had one, but I didn't. But on the other hand, going a year and almost 4 months and having something finished every time I recorded, I'm pretty proud of that. So we'll move on to quarters in session. And the only thing I have to show you knitting wise is the Ladybird wrap, which is in this bag from Fat Squirrel. I am not finished with this yet. I did meet the goal that I set last time, as I have been working on this for a while, and I meant to look up and see, and I'm going to try to do it while I'm sitting here talking, when I actually started this, because I know it's been a couple years, and it languished for a good long while. Yes, I started this in February of 2022, so this project is over 2 years old. That would coincide with about 4 months after I fell back down the cross-stitch rabbit hole heavily, and my knitting greatly slacked off. This is a rectangular wrap that I'll post a picture of as I'm talking of what it will look like when it's finished. Last time I showed it to you, I had finished one end, and I said my goal was to do the other end and at least one of the sides, and I did get that. So I got both ends finished, and I have done one of the side pieces. So you see up here I still have one more. So the side piece is this right here, and as you can see, it's like an angle. So I have done one of the long sides and both ends, so I've got one more long side to do, and then that will be done. So that should be done before I record again. I am going to go to one of my knitting groups Tuesday night, so I need to, before Tuesday night, pick up the stitches along that long side so I can just sit and knit on it at knitting Tuesday night. So that is I'm using US 4 3.5 millimeter needles on that, and that is I'll knit with Suburban Stitcher yarn, which is in all the colors that the pattern was designed in. For any of my knitting projects, I do keep project pages on Ravelry. Again, I'm Legal Eagle. For all of my cross-stitch projects, as I talk about them, I have a link to my Google spreadsheet below, and that will tell you if I forget to say fabric, floss, you know, designer, that sort of stuff. I try to say most of that stuff as I talk, but sometimes I forget. So that is all the knitting, and so we'll move into the cross stitch. Excuse me. First up is in this bag by Creative Carol. This is One Nation, and as always, as I talk, I will be putting up pictures of what the project will look like when it's finished, as well as, if I have one, a picture of what it looked like the last time you saw it. Excuse me. This is the project that I have divided into 12 parts with what I had left that I'm going to finish by the end of the year. I have done my April portion. This is on 28 count. Picture this plus, so it's huge. So as you can see, it's going to be almost, this is, I think, a full yard of fabric. No, I think it's a half, fat half. I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be like almost 3 feet long when it's finished. And I have done, this month's portion was 866 stitches. I started this on January 22nd of 2021. And so what I did this month is I finished the Maine to half of Missouri. I did all of Wisconsin, and then I finished West Virginia. I had the double of West Virginia. So that's the portion for this month. This month's section didn't take all that long. I have a feeling the closer I get to the end of the year, more that I've done, I will get really motivated on this and may possibly finish it before the end of the year. Not promising, but, you know, if I don't, it will definitely be done by the end of the year. So, sorry, trying to figure out where to set stuff as I go. Next up is another project that I have a monthly goal on. This is in a Ruth Bader Ginsburg bag that was made from Lynn X Stitch Creates. This is Kingdom of Books. This was a kit that I bought, and the designer translates to make it with your own hands. It's a Russian kit. I started this August of 2016 when I had a brief resurgence back into cross stitch before it really stuck in 2021. For those of you who may be new, I cross stitched growing up until I was in my mid-20s, and then kind of slid out of that and down the knitting spinning rabbit hole. But this is the full coverage project that I am putting 2,000 stitches in, at least 2,000 stitches in every month. And I have done my April portion. So here's where we are now. I had started in the center. So like I said, I started this in 2016 when I briefly got back into cross stitch. When I cross stitched growing up, pretty much about all I knew was 14 count Ada. I didn't really know anything else. I think the very last project that I finished in like 1996 actually had a little bit of chronic with it. And that was like something totally new and different to me. So, this is where I am on this. I did a total of 2,026 stitches this month, and I'm currently at 29.2%. So I am doing this completely with kit fabric and everything, 14 count Ada, 3 strands for most of it. If I were to start this now, I probably would have done it on some different fabric, and may or may not have stitched the entire background, but since I've started it this way, that's the way it's going to happen. So I have seen several other people, like I know Brenda Handwork Maniac is doing it, and she's doing it on a different, not only a different count fabric, but an actual different fabric that, so she's not stitching the wood grain background, and she's just doing a little bit of the underlayer. So, next up, this is in a project bag from Stitch and Button. This is my, I don't know if I'd call it my Sunday stitch, but instead I do it on Sundays. Instead of a temperature chart this year, I'm doing this pattern that my friend Peggy gave me called A Stitch a Day by Morning Glory Needleworks. I'm doing it on 28 count Lugana by Mystic Fiber, or I think Mystic in the Time Worm colorway. I started this January 7th of this year, and so every Sunday I work on this. I have not worked on it yet this Sunday. This is specialty stitches. So each box is a day, and the inside of each box is a day. So every Sunday I do either 3 boxes total or 4 boxes total. And so that's through last Sunday. And you can, it's kind of hard to see. I don't know how well you can see those specialty stitches. There have been, this is done with Sulky 12 weight. And even though I'm doing it on 28 count, there have been a few of the specialty stitches that go around the outside box that with the 12 weight have been a little too bulky to really do them as they're called for. So I have kind of modified in a couple places just because I want it to be enjoyable, and it was, you know, a pain in the butt to try to do what they were telling me to do. So I did 508 stitches on that since the last time you saw it. Let's see, next up, excuse me, is on Mondays I try to stitch on a Mill Hill or Mill Hill like kit, you know, a little beaded perforated paper or something like that. And the one that I am currently working on is Pinecone Gnome. Yeah, and I started this on April 1st. And this is where I am now. I did a total of 324 stitches since you last saw it. So I finished all of the stitching in the pinecone head piece, and now I'm starting on the actual gnome. And then, of course, once all the stitching is done, I'll go back and do the beading. And I try, my goal, I try to work on this every Monday and do at least 100 stitches. It's sometimes over 200, sometimes it's just a little over 100, but 100 is my minimum goal. Next up is Blooming Tiny Town is this one. I'm doing a Tiny Town round robin with 4 of my other table mates from Queen City Stitch Retreat last year. Anne, who is EANRN on, no, that's her Instagram name. Her YouTube channel, when she hasn't done a video in a while, but her YouTube channel is Anne Craft All the Things. And Debbie, who is Owl and Gator Stitcher, or Stitching. I'll put links to all these people below. Sally, who does not have a YouTube, she does have an Instagram, and I don't remember exactly what it is. And then Jessica, who is, oh my God, I've drawn a blank on Jessica's channel. She has a channel. She hasn't recorded in a while. Stitch All the Things? No, that's not right. I'll put it across the screen because I'm totally drawing a blank on it right now. Anyway, so we all picked a tiny town and started it, and then we're, you know, sending them all, and each person's doing a portion of the tiny town. So this is Sally's tiny town, and I'll put a picture of what it's going to look like here. I don't have the thing. She chose Blooming Tiny Town, and I don't think, did she write down what fabric she's... It's a 32 count fabric, but she doesn't say what it is. So, anyway, so I've done my portion on this. I'm getting ready to send this off to Anne, who is the person I send to. And this is where it is. So I actually did, we're supposed to only do about 30 to 35 stitches across this way, but also kind of try to stop with, you know, an actual element. Sally had already done to here, and 30 stitches or 30 to 35 stitches is going to end up like halfway through this house. So I just went ahead and did the rest of that. So I did this and this. And This is really cute. I showed y'all a few episodes ago probably, mine, which I had started. I chose Patriotic Tiny Town. So I figured it's fun. They're easy. I mean, they're quick little, it's not a ton of stitching each. And with us each choosing our own one, I mean, I have all the Tiny Towns and plan to do most of the Tiny Towns eventually. But it's neat to like get to stitch a little bit on the different ones. So excuse me. Next up is in this bag, which I made. The last 3 months I had been working on Moons Out, Brooms Out as my like quarterly Halloween piece. And since we are in a new quarter, I have switched to Sugar Skull Cat, which is a pattern by Stitchora that was in the Just Cross Stitch Halloween edition from last year, 2023. I started this on August 14th of last year. I'm doing it on 36 count Jody fabric or from Still City Stitchers. And this is where I am now. My goal for this is minimum of 400 stitches per month. Really the goal of 1,000 stitches per month. And I will work on this for the 3 months of the quarter. So ideally I'll have at least 3,000 stitches in this by the time the quarter is over. I have done 778 stitches so far this month. So I will be trying to get, and I got that eye in yesterday, which really kind of makes it look like a cat. Kind of creepy because he only has one eye right now, but so hopefully I'll get a little bit more progress on that. Like I said, 778 stitches I've done so far. I'm currently at 16.3% on that. Excuse me. This next project is in this Rainbow Flamingo bag made by Barefoot Needle Art. This was my first whip go call for the month. My goal for my whip goes is to do 10 hours on each piece. All of my whip go projects this year are all of my BAPs plus a couple of large projects. BAP meaning big ass project. I categorize my projects by stitch count, well, height and width. Height and width added together divided by 2, and then that gives me a number that I kind of have a ranking of. This is Clouds Over Virlande by Ink Circles. I started this November 16th of 2023, doing it on 40 count Atomic Ranch in the embellished colorway. I am taking the alphabet that's at the top of the pattern out and bringing those clouds down in front of the little scene above the Quaker like motifs. So this is where I am now. I have finished my 10 hours. I have done 1,923 stitches since you last saw it, when I had only done about an hour's worth of work. Total for the month of April, I've done 2,191 stitches, and I'm currently at 9.7%. And that 9.7% is of what I'm stitching. Because I use Markup RXP, I was able to tell it that to not count that whole alphabet as stitches, and so that it's giving me a more accurate count of what I have done. And then my second whip go call for the month, I am still working on. I keep this in this bag from Pumpkin. It's not Pumpkin Creek Primitives. Pumpkin Hollow. No, Pumpkin Hollow's Olivia. What's her name? Crickle Creek Crossing. That's it. Sorry. Crickle Creek Crossing. I bought this bag. I can't remember if I bought this at StitchCon. I think so, because I've also ordered from her online before too. But I think I actually bought this one at StitchCon, and it comes with a cute little. Whoops. Let me get it turned around right. I thought I had a little frog. So, that's the bag it's in. This is Dragonfly Lace Mandala, which by Chatelaine. This is the only Chatelaine that I've started. And I started this January 1st of 2023. Basically worked on it that one day and before I pulled it out for WhipGo this year. I'm doing it on 32 count Zweigart in the Silver Moon. So far I have done 4 hours of the 10 that I need to do on this, 752 stitches, and I am at 3.5% on the pattern. So all the gaps and stuff are where beads and stuff will go. So it really doesn't look like much. I mean, that part that I've done is not even dragonflies yet. It's like this massive blue and green center area that's beautiful, but with not really beautiful. You can't really get the effect of it till I will get all the beads in, which will be a while. So I've got about 6 more hours to do on that to finish up my goal for the month. Next up is November Quaker. I have been doing the Quaker monthly Quaker series from the Heart Needle Art by Wendy. This is in a dragon. Ooh, there is a needle sticking out of the back of that bag. And it's gold. I wonder what it came off of. Oh, I bet I know what it came off of. This is a dragonfly bag that I made that the interfacing got all bunched up in, so I ripped it out, so it's a really floppy bag. But I am doing this on 40 count barefoot needle art sandy toes. I started this April 8th, and so far I have done 1,216 stitches, which is 37.3%. I think I said this is the November Quaker. I'm a little behind my schedule on this, but hopefully, ideally, I will get this done before the end of the month. If not, by the end of I should get it done by the end of the month. If not, I will definitely get it done before May 8th when I start the next one. So, there's that. That was a new start since the last time I recorded, but it will hopefully be done by the end of the month. Last up is my April new start, and this is in a fox bag from Brass Button. Couldn't think of her name, Brass Button. This is called North Carolina. It is a travel poster style full coverage from Lifted Spirit on Etsy. These were her travel style posters. They were much smaller full coverages than a lot of the ones I've seen, which is largely why I chose this one. Like I said, this was a new start. I started this on April 14th. I was going to start this past Friday at the 24 hours cross stitch, because I like to start something when I have like a retreat, and this was not technically a retreat, but you know. But because this is color blocks, which I love, I went ahead and started it last week and outlined some stuff so I could fill in Friday. And of course, since I started it last week, I did a lot of stitching on it last week too. But anyway, I'm just doing this on 25 count easy grid. That is the full width of the piece across the top. This is going to come out, I think, like 5 by 6 or something like that. It's not going to be huge. As you can see, you know, the color block, and this blocked out. This will all be orange, this green. I just didn't get that far. I did fill in all of this yellow and all of this yellow on Friday. I have done a total of 2,693 stitches, and I'm currently at 14.8% on that. So I really need to like not work on this for a while and get some of my other goals done. So I don't know when that one's going to come back out. We'll see. So that is it for Quarters in Session. On the docket, I need to, before the end of the month, the plan is to finish my 10 hours on my Dragonfly Lace Mandala for WhipGo. I need to finish my November Quaker. I need to do at least 600 stitches on Anzac. And I would like to do the additional 200 plus stitches I need to do on a sugar skull cat to get that to 1,000. So those are the 4 things that I need to do to actually fully meet my monthly goals. And if I get all those done and have any time left, I will work a little bit on Autumn Seaside, which was hoping we'd get finished this month. Might not. That one less day in the month for some reason just seems like it cuts so much into my time. But so that is it for all the stitching. Now we will move on to stashing for retirement. Okay, stashing for retirement. Most of this is stuff I bought at Barefoot this weekend, but I have a couple of things that I had received prior to that. I bought another bag from Creative Carol because I just love this fabric. I believe I need to make, I've got a bunch of fabric that I want to make some project bags themed to projects that I've got, and then I need to like swap some projects around because I like my bags to be themed to the project if I can. Sometimes I can't. But I think probably Peacock, Unicorn, and a Badger is going to go in this. And then the inside is these bunnies. So, and then I had placed an order with 123 Stitch to get a couple things that I just wanted to have. First up is I had not gotten number 6, 7, and 8 of last year's Fragments in Time from Summer House Stitch Work. So I got 6, 7, and 8. I had bought 1 through 5 and just never gotten around to getting those. I decided that I really wanted this. This was a market release from Stacey Nash Designs. I just think he's adorable. And then I decided that I needed the Plum Street Sampler Spring Moon. This is from 2021. But I have Summer Moon and Winter Moon. I assume there's going to be an Autumn Moon at some point. So I figured I'd better go ahead and have the whole set. So anyway, the rest of this that I have physically is stuff that I bought at Barefoot this weekend. So I've got 2 skeins of this Gentle Art Cottage Blue. I have no particular purpose for this. I just really liked it. As I was looking at, walking by the floss, it caught my eye. It's probably not showing very well that there's some gray in there. Maybe you can see. So that will just go in stash for something. I also bought 2 skeins of this Cottage Garden Threads in Prickly Pear. Again, no set project. I just thought it was really pretty, and I could see doing like an autumn project, maybe some words or something in that, leaves or something in that. So I bought 2 skeins of that. I bought some random fabric. I got 40 count Zweigart Raw. And I bought this thinking there was something that I had been looking at recently doing that called for it. And I got home and realized that the Little House Needleworks Christmas in the Woods, or whatever they're calling it, new one, calls for 32 count raw. Of course, I'm probably going to do it on 40 count. So I may end up using that for that unless I find something I like better. This is 40 count Barefoot Needle Art in Black Pearl. I had never seen this color before, or never noticed it before, I guess. And so that's really pretty. Again, no idea what I'll use it for, just thought it was pretty. And then the same thing with 40 count Mystic Fabrics Big Sky. This to me is just an awesome blue sky-like, you know. So we will see what those end up being eventually. Sorry, I don't know where I'm worried about folding them because I'm going to fold them different anyway, regardless. And then a couple random charts. So I decided, for whatever reason, I've decided that I want this Primrose Cottage, some of the Quaker series. So I bought Spring Quaker, which is, I think, a newer one. And I got, instead of the lavender that it calls for, I bought these 2 skeins of Weeks Dye Works Azaleas because I wanted something a little brighter. So purple, pinks, some coral in there. That's what I'm going to use for. And I only bought 2. The pattern calls for 3 skeins, but it says 32 count. I will do it on either 36 or 40. So I just got two skeins. I got this pattern from Barefoot Needle Art, Blue Jay Lane. This is kind of in the series. I already have the Owl Terrace and the Cardinal Way. So, also in the Primrose Cottage, I got the Patriotic Quaker. Those were the only 2 that they had in stock, except the Valentine Quaker, which I really don't want. Well, I don't think I won't. I haven't decided. And then I also bought the 12 Monthly Minis book. I've been thinking that I need to make some more little minis and stuff if I ever really want to have like little seasonal decorations and stuff. So I got Lady Liberty Blackbird Designs. This is not new. It's just one I saw and realized I didn't have. I don't know if I will do it as a drum or if I will figure out some other way to do that. This is We the People by the Calico Confectionery, which is basically the preamble to the Constitution. And I bought, this was a market release, Erin Elizabeth American Flag. And they had it with the Dinky Dyes silk pack, so I bought that. I got Meridian Designs Flamingo Rose Summer. I already have the winter and the fall. I did not buy the spring because that just didn't, the little flamingos didn't appeal to me. I buy these largely for, I have a friend that loves flamingos, and also I think my brother-in-law really loves flamingos. So my intent is that at some point there will become individual like Christmas ornaments, or not Christmas, little individual, you know, something for them. So I also, these were a couple patterns that one of these I may have seen before and not really registered, and the other one I had not. This is from the Needles Notion Sampler Santa. I've really gotten into the idea of a stand-up lately, although I've never made one. I may turn that Sugar Skull Cat that I'm working on into a stand-up when I'm done with that. So this is Sampler Santa, and because it calls for 28 count, I don't usually have a lot of 28 count. Went ahead and kitted this up with, I think it's 28 count Lugana Seraphim and Old Stationery, and it's actually a fat half, which I don't need, but it's a good neutral, so I just went ahead and bought the whole fat half and figured I'd have a piece left for my stash. Also by the Needles Notion, Hoot in a Boot. I love the name of this. Just saying hoot in a boot makes me laugh, but like the owl you saw on this, so on the Santa, the arms are made separately and put on. And then this one, you make the owl like separately and set it up there. So I also kitted this one up. I got, the fabric I got is 28 count Barefoot Needle Arts in Stormy Seas, which is like a purpley gray. So I think that'll look good. And I mean, while I probably had these DMCs, I just went ahead and bought DMCs for them so that I can know these are kitted, because I don't know when exactly I'll start them. And then Friday, for 24 Hours Across Stitch, she had all the project bags that were in stock on sale for 24% off. So I bought this one with the turkeys and pretty fall fabric up here. The only turkey project I currently have is my fancy, the Glendon Place turkey, Sir Thomas. And I think I already have that in a turkey bag, but yeah, you know, turkeys, we'll see. So that is all I also got my floss clubs from Pam at Stitch New England. I get Week Style Works, Classic Color Works, and MPI floss clubs, but I don't show you those anymore because it's basically just the next 10 alphabetically or numerically. So I've already put those away. The other thing that I have bought is Carolyn Manning is having a sale on her website of all her patterns. And I just found out yesterday when I was watching Laura Stitching by the Shore. Is it Laura by the Shore? Laura Stitching by the Shore. Laura at Stitching by the Shore. I think that's what it is. She mentioned it, and apparently the sale was like March 15th to April 15th. Totally had been off my radar. But apparently she's extended the sale till the end of April. So I went on there last night and picked up 7 patterns that are patterns that I've liked and had my eye on, but just had not purchased because I knew I wasn't going to start them anytime soon. But it's a progressive sale. Like, I don't remember the exact dollar amounts, but like 20% off $20 or more, 30% off $30 or more, 40% off $50 or more. And I had put like 6, so I ruled it down to 6, and I went to go check out, and I was like $2 shy of being $50 and getting an extra 10% off. So I went back and bought another small chart because, you know, why spend if I'm going to spend anyway, I spent extra and actually spent less, if that makes any sense. So I'll pop up here pictures real quick of the 7 charts that I bought. I got 3 of the charts that are just smalls, or more than one. Some of them are just small of themselves, and then some of them have like 4 smalls. I got Sidewalk Cafe, Old Flannel Shirt, Desert Morning, and then I also got Make a Wish, Gingerbread Village, Halloween Hijinks, and Ladybird. Ladybird may be something I do as that's a smallish one. I think I might do something like that for my mother because I think she'd like that colorway. So, so that is all of my stashing for retirement. And the only thing left is calendar. The only 2 things stitchy I have planned for sure right now are North Meets South Needlework Showcase, which is in August in Northern Virginia, the Washington, D.C. area. They have opened up, opened up more space for the ambassador tickets, which is the ticket that gives you access to like a space to sit and stitch. I know they've opened up more, maybe even like 30 more slots. I'm not sure exactly. But anyway, if you're interested in that, you can go to the North Meets South Needlework Showcase website, which I will link below, and purchase that ticket. I do not remember how much it was because I bought mine months ago. If you're not interested in that, you can just get a ticket to the vendor area. Their classes are open and available for registration currently. That just happened, I think, this past week. And I'm looking at a couple of those classes. I haven't decided yet what I want to take. So, and I think there's one more class coming on Punch Needle that it indicates on the website that there will be another class on, like, I think it's the Friday morning slot, but it doesn't have a lot of information on it yet because they were waiting on the instructor who is, I think, traveling somewhere that she doesn't have real good internet access to provide them some additional information. But anyway, so check that out if you're interested in checking that out in DC in August. I also will be at the Barefoot Needle Arts Retreat in October. That is closed. There's a waiting list for that. Although I think you can still get on the waiting list if you want to. I don't know how long the waiting list is for that. I'm still going to try to get into stitching at the farm in November. but I'm waiting for a couple months, and then I'm probably just going to start calling and bugging them to see if they've got a cancellation. So, anyway, that's it for calendar. I think that's all I have to show you today. Leave a comment, subscribe, like, ring the bell, do all the things. I probably should have planned some kind of giveaway since it's 6 years, but I didn't think that far ahead. So I think I'll probably just wait until I hit another subscriber milestone. So I'm pushing 600 now, I think. So tell your friends, you know, whatever. I was telling Kylie and Lori as I was leaving the other day that I suck at promoting my channel. So I do it mainly, you know, to show people what I'm working on, and, you know, hopefully people like it and enjoy it and watch it. But, well, it's nice to see the numbers, and it'd be nice to hit 1,000. You know, it's not going to stop me from doing it if I don't. And I'm really bad about promoting myself. So anyway, I'll stop rambling now. Hope y'all are doing well, and we'll see you hopefully. I'm planning on like that first weekend in May, which is like the 3rd, 4th, something like that, on recording again then. So hopefully that will work out, and we'll see you then. Bye, y'all.